How women react when you ignore them. We have all been there. You start talking to someone, they seem interested, and then suddenly, they stop responding. It is a very frustrating experience for both parties. The other person might not be interested anymore or could be too busy to respond. Either way, it's a terrible feeling. One study found that women are more likely to experience this than men, and they also feel more upset by it. They also found that women are more likely to ignore the person who ignored them in the first place. The study was conducted by researchers at the University of Western Ontario and published in the journal PLOS One. The researchers were surprised by their findings because previous studies have suggested that women are less aggressive than men when it comes to matters of the heart or flirting with someone new. Why would you ever want to ignore a woman? Women are the ones who are often ignored in our society. They are not given the same opportunities as men, they are not given the same amount of respect. They have to fight for everything they want, and it is usually a constant battle. How women have been silenced throughout history, but also why we should never ignore them. 5 ways to stop ignoring her and make her happy. Men often take women for granted and don't always appreciate them. Women, on the other hand, are more emotional and need more attention. If you want to make a woman happy, you should do the following. 1. Make her feel special by telling her that she is beautiful. 2. Give her compliments from time to time. 3. Spend as much time with her as possible. 4. Don't be controlling or possessive. 5. Be romantic and thoughtful. How to ignore women and live happily ever after with one simple trick. This is a story about a man who was able to ignore women and live happily ever after. He was able to do this with one simple trick: he never talked to them. He was able to do this by never talking to women, not even for the sake of small talk. He would walk away from any woman he saw, and if they called out his name, he would pretend not to hear them. This is because he knew that if he talked to one woman, it would be difficult for him not to talk to other women in the future. In conclusion, it is possible for men to live happily ever after without talking or interacting with any woman at all. The problem with women. Women have been fighting for equality for centuries. They have had to fight for the right to vote, the right to work, and the right to be treated as equals. However, there are still many issues that women face in today's society. The wage gap is a serious issue that women face in the workplace. Women make less than their male counterparts even if they have similar qualifications and experience. The gap is not only due to education levels or occupational segregation, but also due to gender discrimination on wages. There are also many other issues which affect women, such as sexual harassment, domestic violence, sexual assault, and more, which need a lot of attention from both men and women in order for them to be solved. Ignoring a woman and why it's important for your mental health. Ignoring a woman is a form of sexism that is often overlooked. It's not always blatant, but it can be just as harmful to mental health as the more overt forms of sexism. Ignoring a woman can take many forms, from not listening to her when she talks to you or giving her less attention than you would give another man in the same situation. The most common form of ignoring women is when people don't listen to them. This often happens in conversations with men, where women are interrupted more often than men and their ideas are ignored. Why people ignore others. We have all done it. We have all ignored someone we love and care about. We are not always sure why we do it. There are many reasons why we ignore people, but the most common one is because we feel that they don't need us anymore. We might also ignore them because they hurt us in some way and we don't want to forgive them for it. Or because they are doing something that bothers us, like talking too much or being too messy or loud. It is easy to ignore someone if you think that person is not going to listen to you anyway, which can happen if the person has their own problems or personal issues that make it hard for them to focus on anything else. How do women feel when they're ignored? When a woman is ignored, she can feel left out, unimportant, and insecure. Women are more sensitive to their environment than men, and so they will often take that feeling of being ignored personally. This can lead to a woman feeling like she is not wanted or loved. Ignoring someone can also make them feel embarrassed or ashamed, and it can even lead to anger or sadness. What we know about how emotions evolve after being ignored. We know that emotions evolve as we age. But what about when we are ignored? Do our emotions change over time? This is a question that has not been answered. But one study suggests that people who are ignored for a period of time may feel more lonely, less confident, and more anxious. This is because when people are ignored, it can affect their self-esteem and how they think about themselves in the world. How to use social media to ignite your career. Social media is a powerful tool that can help you build your personal brand and ignite your career. It can help you to connect with the right people, find opportunities, and share your thoughts on different topics. But it's not just about what you post, It's also about how you interact with others. You should be mindful of the way in which you use social media to promote yourself and always be professional. You should also not be afraid to experiment with new platforms, as this will help you to grow your audience and find out what works best for you. The author's introduction and summary of the blog post. The author starts off by stating that they have been a copywriter for the past 10 years, and in this time they have seen a lot of changes in the industry. The author then goes on to mention that AI writing assistants are becoming increasingly popular and are being used by companies of all sizes, from startups to large corporations. Social media and career development in 2023. Social media is a powerful tool for job seekers and recruiters. It allows them to find the best candidates for the position. In 2023, social media will be an essential part of every company's HR strategy. Companies will not only use it to advertise their company but also to find candidates and create a community of potential employees. What are the costs of social media? Certainly not free. Social media is a free-for-all for marketers. There are plenty of ways to run campaign strategies, and lots of people to talk to. But there is a dark side too, and the cost of social media is not all in the form of dollars and cents. The cost is also in the form of time, attention span, and mental health. Social media has become an addiction for many people who feel they need to be constantly connected with their friends, family members, or work colleagues. Connecting around a theme through social media can help you build connections that will help your career thrive in the long term. Social media is a great way to connect with others in your field and make connections that will help your career thrive. Social media may be a great way to build connections with people you want to work with, or even work for. It can also be a place where you can offer expertise to others who are seeking it. The benefits of ignoring women are not just the benefits that men receive, but the benefits that women receive as well. Ignoring women is a way to get over your ex-girlfriend and move on with your life. It is a way to stop living in the past and start living in the present. It is a way to stop having regrets about what could have been and focus on what you want for your future. Ignoring women can be beneficial for both genders, so why not give it a try? How to get over your ex using ignoring techniques. The first thing to do is make a conscious decision that you want to get over your ex. The next step is to start ignoring them. This means that you should stop following them on social media, stop texting or calling them, and stop looking at their photos on social media. This technique can be applied in different ways depending on the person's personality. For example, for some people it might be easier to ignore the person by not going near any place where they are likely to be, for example, their house or favorite restaurant. For other people it might be easier to just avoid talking about or thinking about the person altogether.